Hey guys, it's Amber Rain Davis from the WOW Creative team, and I'm super excited to be sharing Sensational Stripes with you today. So I'm going to be using the Tailored Expressions 1-inch stripe stencil set, and this is a really cool set. Linda from Stamp Fever sent this to me. Thank you so much, Linda. You can see that there's three parts to the stencil. The first part is your standard stripe stencil. You can use it either portrait mode or landscape. And then you can see there's like this individual stripe here. This individual stripe stencil is really cool because it has guidelines that make it really easy to line up the stripes. I'm using Taffeta Pink embossing powder here, and this is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous embossing powder. This might be my favorite embossing powder from WOW, which is saying a lot because there's over 140 colors. You can see that I spilled some on my mat, so I'm going to show you how I easily get that off of my glass mat. The glass mat has some little feet on it, so I can slide my coffee liner right underneath there and just sweep those in there with my Nuvo surface sweep. So I'll show you how I line this up. So you can barely see the guidelines on the stencil here, but what I didn't notice until I was doing the voiceover is that the top edge of this stencil actually lines up perfectly with the top edge of the stripe that you already have down on your paper. So I'm just going to adhere that to the tape that I have on the back of my cardstock here. Then I'm going to use my WOW Clear Ultra Slow Drying embossing pad and just swipe that over the stencil to get that ink on the paper. I'll go ahead and peel off the stripe, and then we'll add the Taffeta Pink embossing powder. And I'll show you this a couple times so that you can see how it's done. But the beauty of the individual stripe stencil is that you can obviously use it to make diagonals, which I'm doing here, because the 6x6 full stripe panel isn't quite large enough to do it on the diagonal. But with the individual stripes you can. But you can also do individual colors. So if you wanted to do a rainbow pattern, you could do that, or pick 2 to 3 colors for your palette. I'm just using the Taffeta Pink today because it is just so beautiful, and I thought having a full panel of it would be incredible. So you can see super easy and fast to line this up. And then once I got the hang of it, I started to do 2 stripes at a time. So you'll see that here. And when you are heat embossing, you want to try and just hold your paper on the edges. I've already embossed in the center, so I'm going to grab onto the areas where I embossed. But you want to prevent getting the oils from your fingers onto the cardstock. If you do, you can knock it off with a paintbrush like you saw me do there. And here's the finished panel. I just think it's gorgeous, you guys. I love it. This is a new powder for me. I just got it, so I'm super excited to use it clearly. Here I have the Altenew Dainty Bouquet stamp set, and this is a unique layering set because this bottom layer that I have here, the color that you use there is going to be the base layer not only for the leaves but also your flower, so you can get some unique looks with that. I'm going to ink up the base layer with Mountain Mist, which is part of the Seashore family in the Altenew collection, and then I'm going to stamp the rose in some pink colors. But again, that base layer of the rose is still going to be in this Mountain Mist, which is a beautiful light teal color. Here I have the Picket Fence stamp scrubber, and this is my first time using it. So far I really like it, but I'll let you know more as I continue to use it, but it seemed to clean the stamp really well. So I have the first layer of the rose here, and I'm going to stamp that in Frosty Pink. After I stamped it, I didn't think there was enough contrast, so I went ahead and stamped it with Coral Berry. That's the beauty of having it loaded in your MISTI, is that you can restamp things if you need to. This I liked a lot better, and I was pleased that it still looked pink and didn't turn a brownish color since I was adding some pink to the green there. So here I have Ruby Red for the final layer of the rose to add a bit more contrast. And then for the detail layers of the leaves, I'm going to use Volcano Lake, which is the next color up in that Seashore family. And then for the third and final layer of the leaves, I'll use Lagoon, is the darkest color there. So I went ahead and die cut that with the coordinating die, and I just trimmed off one of the buds so that my sentiment would fit. That sentiment is from Signature Words from Altenew. I'm applying art glitter glue to the back of that, and I actually have 2 of those die cuts stacked together. And we'll just slide that right into the edge of that bud and get that adhered down. Take a look at all the sparkle and shine of that Taffeta Pink embossing powder. I chose not to add any additional embellishment because I didn't want to take away from that pretty background or the stamped image. So here you can see some close-ups here. And I love how this card turned out. For the next card, I will use the full stencil with all the stripes, and I just have that adhered with 2 pieces of purple tape. I'll go ahead and use the Wow embossing pad and swipe that over the cardstock. You can see that I was having trouble holding it on that side because there wasn't quite as much stencil to hold on to. You could also tape it to your surface, of course, but I didn't do that. Now, as I'm swiping this, I wasn't applying quite enough pressure, so you can either swipe it like this or you can just press your ink pad down. I did not apply mine evenly, so what you're going to see once I get the embossing powder on is the very top and bottom stripes don't get fully inked up, and then I only partially inked up one of the stripes in the middle as well. So here I'm sprinkling on Sea of Tranquility, which is from the Seth Apter Trio Cosmic. There's 3 beautiful powders in here, and they're so unique because they have almost like these clear, chunky crystals. You can kind of see them in the coffee filter there. I'll share some close-ups where you can see how the color blends on this one. So as I'm sprinkling this on, I know that I'm either going to have to emboss this twice if I want full stripes, or I could knock off the powder of some of the other stripes to have more of a distressed look. And that's ultimately what I decided to do. Then I realized instead of hitting record, I hit stop recording, so I don't have myself putting the rest of this card together. But basically, the Sub Sentiment and Sentiment are from the Hello and Hugs Stamp and Die bundle from Altenew. And here you can see that gorgeous color blend. There's like some black, some gold metallic, and then a few different teal colors, and it just makes this just so beautiful. So I really like how the distressed look turned out. Of course, you can do full solid stripes if you prefer that. I hope you guys enjoyed these projects today and feel inspired to create. If you share your projects on social media, tag us at Wow Embossing, at Notable Ink, and hashtag Wow Embossing Powder. Be sure to subscribe and like this video if you liked it, and ring that bell so you don't miss any new inspiration. Check the comments down below for a discount code to shop Wow Embossing.